Biden to Kabul attackers, "We will hunt you down and make you pay. We will not forgive. We will not forget. We will hunt you down and make you pay," Biden said in early evening remarks from the White House. He said he's asked the U.S. military for options to respond to the suicide blasts, which he said were carried out by the Islamic State affiliate operating in Afghanistan. "I've also told my commanders to attack ISIS-K assets. And we will respond with precision, at our time, at a place that we choose, and a moment of our choosing," Biden said. "Here's what you need to know. These ISIS terrorists will not win." Earlier in his remarks, Biden said the attack was one we've been talking about, worried about, over the past days. "We're outraged as well as heartbroken," Biden said. The attack came after days of public and private warnings from Biden of a potential attack that could disrupt the massive airlift effort underway there. Biden, who cleared his schedule to huddle with advisors, addressed the attacks from the East Room. "The situation on the ground is still evolving and I'm constantly being updated," he said. He now faces a series of decisions on how to proceed as the nearly 20-year war in Afghanistan nears its bloody conclusion. He has vowed to evacuate any remaining American who wants to leave by Tuesday, but officials said the risk of further terrorist killings was exceedingly high. At the same time, Biden is facing pressure to retaliate for the suicide attacks, which also left scores of Afghan civilians dead. Central Command Chief General Frank McKenzie said during an afternoon briefing that in addition to the dozen Americans dead, 15 U.S. service members were wounded in 2 separate suicide attacks near the airport and ensuing gunfights. He warned additional attacks from ISIS were still likely, including using vehicles or rockets. "We thought this would happen sooner or later," McKenzie said. The explosions laid bare the risks to U.S. troops and diplomats Biden has warned about for a week as a frantic evacuation effort at the airport gained speed. The pace of evacuations has slowed over the past 2 days as the security situation deteriorated, and a number of Western nations said their evacuation efforts were now over. The Pentagon said Thursday that despite the attack, flights were continuing to take Americans and others out of the country. "Despite this attack, we are continuing the mission," McKenzie said. "If we can find who is associated with this, we will go after them," he said. "We are working very hard right now to determine attribution, to determine who is associated with this cowardly attack, and we are prepared to take action against them." Over the past days, the risks of a terror attack at the airport seemed to grow by the hour. The extremely high threat from ISIS caused the US, along with the UK and Australia, to warn people to move away from the airport gates late Wednesday Eastern Time. The risk of potential terror attacks from the Islamic State affiliate operating in Afghanistan worried American and Western officials from nearly the moment it became clear that the Taliban would take over the country on August 15. Once crowds began massing at the Hamid Karzai International Airport, the fear among officials monitoring the situation became acute of an attack meant to create mayhem and fear among those trying to escape the country. That is what happened on Thursday. McKenzie said he suspected the suicide bomber was being searched by American servicemen at the airport before detonating the explosive. The attacks quickly consumed Biden's schedule. He was in the basement Situation Room with U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin, Secretary of State Antony Blinken, and Joint Chiefs Chairman General Mark Milley for a pre-scheduled briefing when first word of the blasts arrived. Vice President Kamala Harris also took part in the meeting via video conference while she was in the air traveling between Vietnam and Guam. She cancelled a planned campaign appearance in California and will instead return to Washington. As the scale of the attack became clear, the president's schedule was cleared, including a meeting with visiting Israeli Prime Minister Naftali Bennett that was rescheduled for Friday. After Biden's meeting with his national security team concluded, he continued to be briefed in the Oval Office, according to the White House. The White House press briefing, initially scheduled for 12 p.m. Eastern Time, was delayed, and the president's virtual meeting with governors on Afghan refugees, which was scheduled for 3 p.m. Eastern Time, was been cancelled. Biden had raised the possibility of an attack not from the Taliban, but from the ISIS group, last Friday. "We're also keeping a close watch on any potential terrorist threat at or around the airport, including from the ISIS affiliates in Afghanistan who were released from prison when the prisons were emptied," he said. On Tuesday, explaining his decision to stick with an August 31st deadline for withdrawing all U.S. troops from the country, Biden offered a more dire picture of the security threat.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.